and girls. I hope you can hear me out there. I would be even more impressed if you were all splayed out in front of me. That would be fantastic. But of course, as you know, these times do not permit that. So I hope this YouTube feed is reaching you loud and clear. My name is Dylan Foster. I'm here from a company called TotalVocal, and I'm going to introduce you to, and well, with some colleagues of mine, to the genre of acapella. Now, I'm not sure if any of you guys know what acapella is. Some of you may. Some of you may think that it's a pizza. Now, when I first joined my first acapella group, I thought it was a pizza. But I kept that to myself when the guy who was the boss of the group asked me if I knew what acapella was. And later on I said to him, hey, I was going to say in that audition that I thought acapella was a pizza, and he said to me right there and then, if you would have said that, we would have given you the job straight away. Anyway, I got the job on my own accord. That group was called the Flying Pickets. They had a big #1 single called Only You. That was my entry into the world of acapella. That's what I'm doing here right now. That's but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. That single came out in 1984. Okay, so I didn't join the band at that time. I joined the group a little bit later, and this was in London. I just answered an ad in the paper and went for an audition, a series of auditions, and eventually got the job, and that led to about 8 or 9 years of touring and recording albums with this fantastic group. And above everything else, it taught me a lot about the art form known as contemporary a cappella. All right. So what is a cappella? Well, a cappella is an Italian word that means in the way of the church, or in a church style. That doesn't mean that a cappella these days necessarily has any kind of church connotations or religious kind of ideals behind it. But this term came about in the 15th century, even before I was born, and it came about because there were certain people that considered that worship music that was performed in the church should only be performed using the human voice and shouldn't involve any other instruments. So that's the origin of the word a cappella, all right? Now, fast track to what we know as a cappella these days. Where did that originate? Some of you guys might have heard of the group called the Pentatonics, all right? I mentioned the Pentatonics because, in this period, they are the most they are the best known a cappella group, okay? So I mean, obviously there are a lot that came before them, and there will be a lot that come after, but in this time, I think that's kind of, the benchmark of pop a cappella, all right, or contemporary a cappella. How did we get to this style known as contemporary a cappella that the Pentatonics do so well? Well, it all started really in 1906 with a group called the Northwestern A Cappella Choir. All right, and they were a university group and quite a large group, large ensemble, a lot larger than the Pentatonics. But they started this tradition of a cappella, unaccompanied vocal music being performed by groups in universities and colleges in the United States. All right, so that's really where the genre all came about. It was 1906. Now, look, if we fast track, I'm doing a fast history of a cappella for you. If we fast track to, say, the 1960s, we go through eras, just prior to that, of doo-wop and barbershop. And these eras saw the size of the ensemble, or the size of the group, reduced, okay? So the groups became smaller, all right? In the 1960s, there's a fantastic group called the King Singers, and I believe that the King Singers are still going to this day in some way, shape, or form. I'm sure that they don't have the original members with them, but the group is still continuing, and the King Singers are really credited by being the people that pioneered the small ensemble or small group a cappella style. Okay. Now, if we go a little bit further to that, we come into the 1980s, and the group that I talked about before, that I was a member of, called the Flying Pickets. They had this big song called Only You that was a #1 single in the UK and in other parts of the world, and it actually stayed in the #1 position in the UK for 5 weeks. It was a Christmas #1, which is the most important #1 of the year. So the thing is, these guys were a pop group that happened to be a cappella. So groups like this really brought a style of a cappella to the masses, to people like us, people that aren't necessarily a cappella enthusiasts. It introduced the world of a cappella to us, okay? Now, I keep saying these two words. Firstly, I'm saying a cappella, and secondly, I'm saying, I'm using a subgenre, contemporary a cappella, all right? So the difference between these two styles, and they have a lot in common, is with a cappella, traditional a cappella, the singers use their voice in its conventional way, just singing as we all know it, yeah? But in the world of contemporary a cappella, singers often imitate other musical instruments, okay? Things like trumpet, things like drums, things like bass, and other little things like guitar. Funny little sounds like that we put together to form music. Yeah. So in the a cappella group, each person, each member has their specific role. All right. So what I'm going to do now, you probably heard enough of me talking. You're probably starting to get bored. You're probably thinking, oh man, this crazy guy is yapping on. I want to hear some a cappella music. All right. Well, you're in luck because I'm about to welcome to the stage my lovely and talented colleagues. Here they come. Look at all of them. There's Narisa, there's Stephanie, there's Ian, and there's Zul Maestro. What is Zul Maestro? I mean, can you explain that term to us? Where did that come from?
I just like the word maestro, someone who's good at something. So,
yes.
And I want to be good at what I do.
Yes.
Which is a percussion.
And he's absolutely right. That's what maestro means. And that could be good for you guys to know as well. They often use the term maestro for a musician that is a true master of their art. And this guy certainly is. So, without further ado, I would like, let's sing these guys a song about a beautiful tropical island. Okay? We're going to sing the song about a beautiful tropical island. I think you've heard of it before.
You can take a little trip around Singapore town, take a sip on the run to see where we keep and everything to yesterday. All of us, because it's Singapore, Singapore, our hearts are big and watch it fly. Because Singapore, Singapore, you'll find happiness for everyone.
perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, we certainly hope you have. Yeah, so that was a super fun song about Singapore that we love so much. Yeah, it's got a bit of an a cappella vibe to it to begin with, the original version of the song. So we decided to do an a cappella version of it. Okay. Okay. So have you ever heard of a singer by the name of Samuel Smith III?
Who's that?
That's his great British name. But when he burst on the scene, he called himself Sam Smith.
That is familiar.
Yes, he's known as a wonderful, wonderful singer. So what I'm going to do is, I feel that I'm kind of in the position that you should be. So I'm going to swap with you right now because I want to get this guy closer to the front because he's going to sing the lead vocal of the song. And you know the thing is that what they say with singers. Let's go around this way. What they say with singers that attempt Sam Smith songs are absolutely crazy, and he certainly is. All right. So I believe this song is in the key of C, and I tell you what, just so you know what we're doing up here, I keep running back here because it's important that we all start in the right key. Okay. So the way we do that is we tune ourselves a key note at the start of each song. All right, so this particular song is in the key of C major. Okay, so the note that I'm going to play for everyone to tune to is C. Okay, that's a great note for everyone because C. I mean, if you don't know C, then C was the first note that I ever learned. Okay, here we go.
Yes, it's true, I'm good at one night stand, but I still need love as a just these nights never seem to go as planned. I don't want you to leave with all my hands. Oh, won't you stay with me? 'Cause I'm darling, stay with me. Why am I so emotional? No, it's not a good look, it's some self-control. And deep down I know this damn word, but you can live with me so it doesn't hurt. Oh, won't you stay?
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, that was a song entitled Stay With Me. The whole idea and theme of that song is about a person who wants someone else simply to stay with them. That's it. Nothing more to it. That's why the chord structure is so simple. It's chord structure simple. I heard all these tensions in the chords. Yes, well, they weren't meant to be there. Anyway. Okay. Anyway, on with the show, as they say. Now, I mean, a lot of people, you know, in our audience right here, you know, our extensive audience. I just like to say sorry about the people that could only get the cheap seats that are right at the back. You know, there's a big queue out in front for the show. No, forget it. Okay. But everyone has been wondering what is going on with this guy in the baseball cap, when he's doing all of this vocal percussion and this beatboxing and making these amazing sounds and these amazing grooves, you know, just like a drum machine or a drum kit. Well, I'll tell you what, his name is Zul Maestro. I introduced you to him before, and we're going to leave the stage to him for a little bit of you know, a moment or two or three or four or five. And he's going to show you what he does best. Okay, so enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, hope you guys are doing well. Is this live? Yes? Okay. So, chill. Once again, my name is Zul. I'm on stage. I call myself Zul Maestro. And this is what I do. Basically, it's called vocal percussion, also known as beatboxing. All right? So, if you guys do not have an idea of that, it's basically someone creating a drum beat from their mouth. Okay? A little something that I want to show you guys is this. Ladies and gentlemen, what you want us to do is all for the night. So basically, that's what I do. I am a beatboxer, a person who lives liberty with creating sounds from their mouth. So it doesn't matter if you get drum beat, right, or a DJ effect, right, or a trumpet. So I'm just going to show you guys what are the basics. But kids, listen, do not imitate me because of this whole COVID period thing going on. So you will tend to have slight spelling out. So do not speak in front of your friends, okay? Don't act, okay? So there are three sounds that if you want to learn how to pick up basic beatboxing, there are three sounds you need to learn. If you want to practice this at home. My advice is, this is what I do when I train. I do it in the toilet when I'm taking a shower, right? Because the only person who will be screaming at you is your mom, right? So the first sound would be we call the kick bass. The kick bass. What is a kick bass? So if you guys can imagine a drum set in front of you right now, okay? Think of a drum set right now. The kick bass is that big drum on the floor where people kick, right? So, and how to do it is just simply using or saying the letter B. B. Right? So it's basically the same B, like this. B. So to make that effect is to tighten your lips, like this, and then say B. So on the mic it sounds like this. And when you get used to it, you silent the E in it. So it's. Once again, do not follow me now. Do it at home if you're interested. Alright? Next sound will be the hi-hat. The hi-hats are the cymbals on the drum. That's just T and S. Alright? And then the last one is the snare. The snare of the drums just around you. There are other kind of drums going on, which is the toms, but the snare is one of the sounds that drummers use. Alright? So there are many kinds of snares, but I'm going to show you, we call it the PF snare. How do you do the PF snare? It's basically saying puff, P-U-F-F, puff, 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 puff. And same thing with the kick bass, the kick bass. You tighten the lips, right? And then go like this. Let air out. So when you tighten your lips and you say puff, it has that effect, that wind effect. Alright? So it's okay? So you mix these three sounds together. So the kick bass, the hi-hats, and the snare. And you have sounds like this. Okay? It's as simple as that. Let me just emphasize again, if you guys want to practice, do not practice this in front of your friend's face or your teacher's face. Please wear a mask at all times when you are outside of the class. And also, if you want to practice, please go home and practice this. And like how I advise, do it in the shower when you're showering. It's fun. You get all clean at the same time, right? So if you mix all this together, then you can add effects too, right? Let's say you put in a bass, like a growling sound, so it's. Sound is basically how you play your throat, but you maintain that sound. So if you can master that, you can make the sound of a didgeridoo. You know the one that instrument or strings play with. Yeah. So there are many sounds you can create from your mouth. You can do a kick roll. Simply, you guys can do that, right? And then you can repeat the hi-hats with the kick roll. Right? So there's many things that you can discover with your mouth and sounds of, to use use it to make music from. Okay? Hope you guys learned something from that. I mean, me and Dylan and the gang would really appreciate if you did something cool. Don't spit at your space and say it's for you and something, okay? Do it, practice first, okay? Perfect that technique first, okay? So I am going to show you another last showcase, alright? So hope you guys enjoy this one. Drum and bass.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Zul Maestro in the house. All right. Hey, all right, cool. Well, we'd like to jump back on the stage with the full band now, and we're going to play you a song. It's a very well-known old song called Stand By Me. I know some of your teachers will recognize this. Maybe you guys won't, but then again, maybe you will, because it's super, super popular, super, super well-known. And it's all about, you know how the other one was, remember I told you it was about a guy that wanted someone else to stay with him? This is crazy. This song is about a guy that wanted someone else to stand by him. Nearly exactly the same thing. It's all about friendship. And the keynote is
when the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light I can see. can't get it on. You got the feeling that I want, just like they say in the songs. Till the dawn is all I can't get it on. Darling, darling, stand by me. Whoa, by me. Won't you stand? Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me.
Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We got one more song to sing for you right now, and I have had enough of singing low notes on the bass. I want to sing something high. So this one goes a little bit like this, and it's going to be our last song of the day. I better tell you what key it's in. It's in the key of. It's all about what you don't want to do in this era. Kiss. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, woo! Wonderful, wonderful school. We hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. We hope that we have opened the windows and doors on the world of vocal music and contemporary a cappella to you here right here today. Please put your hands together one more time for Ian on the end there. Stephanie, the wonderful talented Soul Maestro, the smooth, sulky soul sound of Narissa on the vocal. My name is Dylan Foster. Thank you very much for having us. We thank the National Arts Council for all of their support and hope to see you again very soon. Goodbye.